Hey there, Wildcats. Happy April Fool's Day. I've got no questions from anybody. I'm lying. That's my April Fool's joke. It's lame. I know. No, I've got lots of questions. I've got lots of questions um, from all y'all. And so I've taken this morning and last night and kind of jotted a bunch down so I can answer them. And the most common question I get out of everybody is, when are we going back to school? Is the school year going to be extended? Do I have to go to school every day? What is going on with school? I wish I knew when we're going back. I don't know. I know about as much as your parents. Because I'm a parent in the school district, I can tell you I usually get notifications for what's going to happen with our schedule as a parent about the same exact time. I mean, like within like 5 minutes, um, that I do as a teacher. I don't have like inside information. And I know the people that make those decisions, when they make them, they want us to all know as quickly as possible. So um, I don't know. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with your questions for this Wednesday, April Fool's, April 1st day. What is your favorite restaurant? I like Cypress Hall in Newbern. That's my favorite restaurant. I don't get to go there that much or that often, but I really like their food. So if I am going to do something other than cook at home, which I love cooking at home, I like to go there. Do I have a favorite food? Now, while Cypress Hall is my favorite restaurant, as far as favorite food goes, I really like Indian food. I like spicy curries. I like Thai food. I love Mexican food and Caribbean dishes. So I really like foods like that. I like food that isn't necessarily what I grew up with all the time. At the same time, my parents did have me eat a lot of food like that whenever we'd go to New York City and visit because we weren't too far from where I grew up. All right. So there's also things a lot of you wanted me to know. So let's see. I like those animation videos. Well, I'm glad you like those animation videos. Probably referring to the stop motion animation videos. I have a couple people who said I have a pet rabbit. They're all excited about that. So I'm glad to hear you've got a pet rabbit to take care of and keep you busy. Bunnies will keep you busy. They are crafty little critters, and when they get all squirrely and jump, they're crazy. Another student wanted to tell me I play baseball very well, and I'm sorry you're missing baseball. I used to play softball when I was a kid, and when I was a teen, and I was a pitcher, and so I understand that you're missing that right now. This question: how was paint invented? Ooh, I can go into a whole video series on that. But if you want to get technical with paint, it goes all the way back to cave paintings, which is like crushed iron ore mixed with animal fats and water and mud kind of smeared on the walls. And it would stain the walls in the contrasting color. And that was like the first paint. Another student asked me, how do I get or make a coronavirus test kit? I have no clue. If you think you have the symptoms, you need to talk to your family physician or your primary caregiver and get information on that. But I personally do not make coronavirus test kits. Even though I love science, that's outside of my skill set. I'm getting better at drawing. Good. I'm hearing a lot of people saying, hey, I'm drawing a lot and I'm getting better. And I'm also getting students going, how do I get better at drawing? Okay, so here's what it comes to practice. Practice doesn't make perfect, because you know I don't believe in perfect. Practice makes more permanent or easier to do it the way you're practicing. So if you're practicing habits that aren't that good, you're going to ingrain those and make them easier for you to do. But if you practice techniques or things that are correct, you're going to ingrain that and it'll be easier as you do it. So even if something is harder, if it's a better technique, try it. Even if you mess it up, keep trying to do it the correct way, and you'll get better. At the same time, I don't want you to be so hard on yourself that you just give up and don't do it at all. And that's the biggest problem middle schoolers and adults run into with getting better at the arts. They give up too easily. They see it as they made a mistake that they can't do it. They always want to start a drawing and say, oh, this is going to be perfect this time. Not going to happen. Even if you're good at it, even if you practice, it's not going to be perfect. Or it might not always be how you see it in your head. It's very much a journey to take. So you have to be willing listen to me, willing to make mistakes as you practice. That means you're going to try it, you're going to mess up, and that's okay, because then you're going to learn from it. You hear me say that all the time in class, but to get really good at drawing, draw things you're not always comfortable at drawing. Keep practicing drawing the things you are, because that'll keep your confidence up, but then always add an element that you're not comfortable with, whether it be if you're drawing a person, you don't draw their hands, you put them behind the back. Start practicing drawing hands. Start drawing the things that you think are too hard. You know you're going to mess up, so you might as well try. And then the more you try, the better you get. In fact, one of the best April Fool's pranks I ever had pulled on me gave me an awesome assignment I gave to myself as an art student. I was in college, and we had a drawing professor who had on the board our assignment due for the following week, because we had to do in-class projects 6 hours a week. That's drawing in class 3 hours twice a week, 3 hours solid. You get little breaks here and there, but 3 hour long classes. And then you had to do about 6 hours outside of class for homework every week. So you're talking 12 hours of your week just on drawing, not even all your other college art classes, including academics. So he put on the board, due next week, 500 drawings. And everybody started screaming and yelling and arguing at him. That's impossible. You can't get 500 drawings done in a week. And I thought about, well, what does he mean by drawing? What counts as a drawing? And I realized that if I did some gesture drawings are just capturing the pose of a person moving. Like, how much are they bent? It's not the details. It's not their eyelashes. It's not their clothes. Just almost like these little guys. Just quick gestures of people. They wouldn't be perfect, but I could do one in 15 seconds to 30 seconds and focus on the proportion, the height, and the angle. Does it feel like the movement of that person? Is it the right shape of the movement of the body? Oh, and I could do gesture drawings of my own hands. Oh, open, closed, bent, angled, relaxed, gripping something, holding on to something. How does that hand look? And not drawing every little detail and curve, not drawing the value, not drawing the skin texture, not drawing the outline, but drawing just the general shapes and angles from where the joints are to the bones. And I realized, I calculated, 500. If I took 5 days and did 100 a day, and I could get 6 done, let's say I did 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Well, 60 seconds is a minute, so that's 6 a minute. So I started doing the math, and I figured I could do 500 drawings in a week. They wouldn't be finished, complete rendered drawings, but sketches that were drawings. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to do this. I got this, okay. And he's like, oh no, wait, no, it's a joke. And he flipped the board, and it said April Fool's. And I was like, no, I'm still going to do this. And he went, no, don't do it. I don't want you stressing. This was a joke, my bad. And I wound up making sure a couple times a week for the rest of that semester, I drew some days I assigned where I had less classes, because some of my days were classes all day. And the days where I had less classes or I had long commutes riding a bus to get to school, I would draw 100 drawings a day, just quick little sketches. There's a lot less pressure to do perfect when you have to do 100. Because sometimes out of quantity comes quality. So if you practice drawing and you draw different things every time you draw, even if they're quick little doodles, you're gonna get better. You are. All right, so that was a long time at that. I'm gonna go through these. I might skip some and come back to them later in another video. I do want to answer your questions. Can you show us your garden thingy that you made? Yes, I'll take a picture this week or put it in one of my next videos. I'm safe and doing fine at home. How are you? I'm trucking along here. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done for you guys so you're not so bored at home, because I know some of you are. And I want to make sure you always have something to either watch or try or think about trying. All right, another question. Does Geico save you money on car insurance? Go look it up. Not sure. That's what the internet's for. I'm not an insurance agent, but that's a funny question. Can we cook for our project, or can you do cooking in some artistic way? Can you make a video of you cooking? I'll look at figuring out what to make. I think that's a good video for next week, because that gives me some time over the weekend to go through my pantry and figure out if That's going to be cookies or cake decorating or marzipan, which you might not know what that is. But you've given me some ideas with that, so I could do something with that. And let's see. Can we cook for our project? Yes, if you want to do an visually artistic cooking project, that is fine. You can absolutely do that. Crossing out questions so I don't go back to them. All right, this one. We got baby chicks, and I got a baby turkey, and we got a pool, and it's filling up. Cool. Sounds like you're rocking and rolling at home. What do you do in your free time? Honestly, I do the things I love. I spend time with my family because we're all here. We try not to drive each other nuts. I do spend a lot of time outside of my garden, kind of pushing it along because I want to have lots of fruits and veggies and flowers and herbs and things like that. Another student asked, since you are not allowed to fight in your reenactment medieval battles, are you training to fight at home? Yes. It's not the same as we'd usually do. My husband and I have the opportunity to practice sparring against each other. And I do kind of like training for how to throw blows and things. And then I've been doing a lot of studying of technique with that because I'm missing the exercise with that. So I've been taking a lot more walks lately to keep my exercise up too. How do you make clay? Again, this can be a really good demonstration video because you don't really make clay. It's not like you get kitchen ingredients. Instead, you kind of harvest it from the earth. And I know from digging out my yard and my garden that I got clay in my backyard. So I might make a video on where clay comes from and post that up, or find a video that's already there that kind of shows, because North Carolina is riddled with clay. Would you rather be at home giving us work or be at school doing this? I miss all of you terribly. And if the situation was different, I would much rather be at school. But given the situation we all have right now as a country, I'm really glad that I can at least be doing this for you from home safely and keeping you safe as well. But I do miss you all terribly. Yes, I want to go back to school and see you guys, but only if it's safe. Okay? All right. Can you do welding? I have done welding. In fact, the first art piece I ever sold to somebody that I wasn't like related to, because you know your mom and your grandma, they want to support you making your art. It was a stranger. Was a giant welded cicada. It would have been bigger than my desk here, and I sold that for a couple $100. And it was made out of scrap metal that other students were throwing away because I didn't have a lot of money when I was first in college. But I welded that together. And can you demonstrate welding? Right now, I cannot because I do not have a welder here at home. I have a friend who has one, and when things kind of turn around, I can put together a video. Hopefully we'll be back in school at that point, but I don't know. I don't know when we're going back. But I would love to do a little demo of welding. It's kind of cool. Student gave me directions on how to do the PACER test. I don't know if that's a suggestion or if they just posted from the wrong class. But I found that quite entertaining. I now know all about the PACER test. Let's see, welding. And one student said, I am ready to be back at school. I understand. Me too. It's not easy, and we got a long haul ahead of us, so we're going to try to make the best of it. Are you bored? I wouldn't say I'm bored, but I'm frustrated because I don't get to do the things that I normally would do to kind of de-stress, like drive to the beach because it's so close. Another question. Do you like to fish? I love to fish. And I haven't fished in a good while, and I'm overdue for that. And I need to look into seeing whenever it is that we'd be allowed to go fishing again, or if we're allowed right now. Again, I want to do it safely because, as many of you know, I'm an asthmatic, so I have to be very careful. So I'm really not going out of the house at all. But yeah, I miss fishing. I grew up doing a lot of fishing out of like rivers and lakes, and now that I'm close to the ocean, obviously there's different types of fish here. Okay. Can I give you room decoration ideas for your bedroom? Let's put it this way. Look at what I've done for your classroom if you like that kind of feel. I know a lot of you like it. Think about your senses. Sight, obviously, clean up any stuff that doesn't need to be there or put things away. If there isn't a good home for something, give it a home. If there's things you're ready to get rid of because it's just sitting there and it's not doing anything, do the thing that Marie Kondo says. If it doesn't spark joy, see if a brother or sister or your parents are okay with you giving it to someone else. or if you don't want it, or somewhere you can store it if they don't want you to get rid of it. Lighting. See what you can do with your lighting. Sometimes natural light helps. Lowering your curtains a little bit from the top or opening them to let natural light helps a lot. Natural light is very relaxing. That's why I kind of film here in my front room of my house, because we've got a lot of windows here. And colors. Colors affect mood. So the same way colors remind us of different emotions, colors can affect your room. But the biggest thing is kind of keep it organized and neat. Anything that you can put up vertically instead of just spread out, that helps. And then pick like one thing visually you like looking at to highlight in an area that's kind of cleared off. Like here I've got a lot of clutter because I like to kind of remind you of the classroom. But normally the way I have this desk when I'm not teaching from home is this is really kind of all put away so I have more space to work. All right, room decor ideas. Let's see. Do we have any more projects? Yes, every week you are to turn in a project. And I've had a lot of students ask about that. They're confused by that. It's pretty simple. I can't be there to physically show you what to do. So I'm uploading as many how-to videos as I can so you can pick what works for you. Now, looking at the questions and information I'm getting from students now for 2 weeks, I'm gathering a lot of you have a lot of paper at home. That's the one material that people seem to be requesting, a lot of origami or a lot of paper mache or sculpting with salt dough or even some paint. So I am going to post more videos of me showing you how to do things, but for me to generate that content would take a lot of time. So I'm posting up videos that I know have good content and making videos myself. So that way you get the full range. So yes, every week you get to pick your project that you're going to turn in that week. Now, if you can't turn it in by Friday because you are doing your schoolwork on a Saturday because your schedule doesn't match up with that Monday, Thursday thing, talk to your teachers, let them know, give them a heads up, especially for your other classes, in your core classes. But for me, if you need to turn it in on Saturday, that's fine. Just give me a heads up of, hey, I'm going to be turning it in Saturday every day. That way I can go back and change the grade. And yes, you are getting graded on this stuff. And someone asked, well, do the grades matter? Your education matters. Even with all this going on, your education matters. So that's one of the big reasons we're continuing to teach you online, because we don't want you to lose out just because you don't get to see us face to face. So that's why we're continuing to provide you this content. At the same time, not trying to overwhelm you and still give you that continuity of a familiar middle-aged art teacher face. Okay. What if we don't have much internet at the house? I really recommend you call West Craven Middle. There are people there to answer the phone. Even though they're not letting the public in, there are people there to take calls and help with that sort of thing. For my class, get on when you can. And like I said, there's those 2 assignments you're going to have every week. The first assignment is going to be a Google form like what you've been filling out between Monday and Tuesday. And then like Wednesday through Thursday, work on your project, submit any questions through Google Classroom. And turn it in, turn your project in no later than Friday if you can. Again, I'm flexible. If that doesn't work, just get your work done when you can. But talk to the school, because with the other classes and not having internet, I want to make sure you don't fall behind with them either. Then I have students ask, do I know how to blow glass? Yes, I used to teach it as an adjunct member. I don't have a glass blowing studio at my house. Those are very expensive. However, I have some friends that have glass blowing studios or are building them. And then I have some friends that every summer when I go to meet up with my family in Pennsylvania, there's a big place we camp at, and there's a glass blowing studio on site, and they always invite me as a guest to come play in the shop and make some glass pieces. Now, I do have some small torch work for small glass pieces, really tiny like beads and things like that, here at my house because it's a little bit cheaper and easier to set up and break down. And I'll probably make a video on that as well because it's fun. Is digital art technically visual art? Yes, if it's visual, even if it's created with your computer or your iPad or digital photography, that is still visual and it's still art. How was my weekend? It was different. It's weird not being able to go anywhere. But it was relaxing at the same time. So I think I've gotten to all of your questions. What can I do with an old notebook? Ooh, well, that gets into book art and upcycling art. You could do a lot of things, collaging an old notebook, like kind of paint over it with layers of like white acrylic paint, let it dry, one page at a time. And once it dries, turn the page, do another page, and turn it kind of like into an upcycled artistic sketchbook notebook. So let's see if there's any other questions I'm missing or any other things. Do I like memes? I like memes. Don't send me memes if they're not school appropriate. Okay. Animation videos. And then I have a lot of students asking, before I sign off on this video, I have a lot of students asking on how to do different techniques of things. So I've made an entire list of that. I've got about 25 things there. So that's a lot of video content. 25. So if I made a video once a day for 5 weeks, 5 days a week, not 4, 5 days a week, I would get through it in 5 weeks. So I'm not going to make a video for all of those things unless some of them overlap. In some cases, I'm going to be finding videos of those things that are already made and out there and uploading them. That way, like I said, it's a mixture of both videos coming from me and videos that are already out there on the internet that I've vetted. Vetted means I look at it, I watch the video, I'm like, yeah, this is a good demonstration. And that way you're getting quality instruction, you're getting a broad instruction and not just a little bit at a time. Now, in regards to Zoom, you're not required to meet me in Zoom. I've had students ask about that because you're stressed about getting to other classes. However, there's a lot of you that have asked that you would like to see me throwing clay. And you'd like to ask questions about clay, even though you can't really do clay at home right now. So what I've decided is next week, I'll make an announcement about this next week. Next week, during certain days of the week, I'm going to have to rearrange my whole front room here to make room for this because it's going to take a couple hours for me to do this and set up almost like a little throwing studio along with the technology and tripods and things to Zoom, using the Zoom classroom that you go to for your grade level. It's in Google Classroom. Just look down the thread in the class stream, you'll find it. But look down the Zoom link when you're supposed to come, and you can pop in or out, and I'll be throwing clay. So I'll probably get my oldest to come help me out and man the camera, or my husband, and allow students into the class so I don't have clay fingers getting all over the computer. And I will do some clay throwing demonstrations. So you can kind of tune in and then I can hear you talking and we can talk while I'm throwing clay. If that goes over well and students enjoy that and they like signing in for that, I can continue with other media if you wish. That way you still have a little bit of that talking time with me. And it's not just us sitting there going, hey, how's it going? It gives you something to see. So we'll try that out, like I said, next week. I think we're going to try that for Tuesday, or maybe Monday, Tuesday. We're going to try that. I have to see how much I get done this weekend rearranging stuff. So hopefully that answers a lot of your questions. I'm also going to submit some content soon on art from around the world. I looked at places that you're interested in traveling in and traveling to. If money was no object, that was one of the questions I asked you. And I got Paris, New York, the Philippines, Dubai, Hawaii, Mexico, Greece, Canada, all over Africa, Bora Bora, Tokyo, Japan, Texas, Guatemala, Ireland, Fiji, India. It just keeps going. Russia, Los Angeles, very cool places. So yeah, and also, if it's your birthday during all this, happy birthday. I know it's not easy to celebrate a birthday at home. My son, he celebrated his birthday just the other week. And I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you and your birthdays, and I hope you're all doing well. So I'll see you later. Happy April Fools.